morning, Mr. Williams. I have lots of letters for you this morning.
Good morning, Sylvia. Are any of the letters interesting?
Well, there's another one about the environment.
Does it say anything about any particular environmental problems?
Let me read it to you. The appalling situation of our waters being contaminated by chemical waste from factories has resulted in problems for both the fishing industry and residents alike. Skin and eye problems have developed in those people who swim in waters filled with rubbish and dead fish. Additionally, farmers have had their annual crops damaged by chemicals which have polluted water supplies. Finally, everyday life has become extremely unpleasant due to the overwhelming stench which originates from nearby factories.
Does it give any suggestions on how to deal with the problems?
Yes, listen. One obvious solution would be to relocate the factories. Another remedy would be to impose heavy fines on owners of factories who violate environmental protection laws. Finally, the government should enforce laws which state that factories must have filters fitted on their chimneys.
There are some interesting ideas there. I think we'll publish that letter in the next edition of the paper. What do you think?
I think it's a good idea. People need to be reminded about these problems.
Good evening.
Hello. Do you have any vacancies here at your motel?
I believe there may be one. Did you make a reservation in advance?
No, we didn't.
Well, we just received word that one reservation has been canceled, so you arrived at a good time.
I suppose so. By the way, how much is the room?
It's $30 with color TV and an extra bedroom. We have a pool in the back.
That's good. We need the extra room with our 2 kids.
If this is agreeable, please step into our office to register.
Do you want the payment in advance?
That's our policy. I'm sure you understand.
Of course. What's the number of the unit?
Number 61, on the second floor over on the right. Here's the key.
Thank you. I'll park the car over there first and get the family unloaded. Then I'll come right over to register.
Certainly, sir.
Good afternoon. This is your captain speaking. We have been notified of the possibility of strong air turbulence ahead for the next 40 miles or so. Passengers are therefore strongly advised to remain in their seats with their seat belts on for their own protection and to avoid use of the restrooms for the time being, if at all possible. During this time, young children should be firmly fastened into their seats. Please observe these precautions until the seat belt warning sign has gone off. Lunch will be served after we have passed through the air turbulence zone. Thank you. Good afternoon, Mrs. Keaton.
Good afternoon, Mr. Duncan. Please come in and have a seat.
Thank you.
I've been looking through your application. You seem to have many of the qualifications needed for this position, especially experience.
I have been in computer programming for 8 years now.
Yes, I see. Were you satisfied with your last position, Mr. Duncan?
Generally, yes. But to be honest, not entirely. I was with a small family-owned company, and chances for advancement were very limited.
The letter of reference from the president praises your work highly.
Mr. Darton gave me a lot of responsibility, and I learned a great deal about company operations.
Well, we ask for loyalty and hard work from our employees, but we pay well, and opportunities for promotion depend on merit, not just age or seniority.
I am very interested in working for your firm, Mrs. Keaton.
I see. I have a few more applicants to interview today for this position, but at the moment your chances look very good. We will be in touch with you shortly, Mr. Duncan.
Thank you for your time, Mrs. Keaton. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Listen to a telephone solicitation. Is this Mrs. Todd?
Yes.
Mrs. Todd, you have been selected to receive 3 magazines of your choice absolutely free.
Oh, well, thank you very much, but we subscribe to quite a few magazines already.
Mrs. Todd, this is a free offer. You will receive these magazines at no charge.
No, I don't think so.
What kind of magazines do you subscribe to now?
News magazines mostly. We get Newsday and This Week.
Well, then, you would probably enjoy The Reporter and The Weekly News.
Actually, we used to get both of those magazines.
Well then, why shouldn't you take advantage of this free offer?
I'm sorry, but in my experience, a free offer usually starts out free and ends up costing the usual price or more for the item.
But...
Besides, I don't take solicitations over the phone. Thank you anyway.
Listen to a class discussion.
British English and American English are really about the same, aren't they?
I don't think so. It seems to me that some of the spellings are different.
You're right, Mary. Words like theater and center end in RE in England instead of in ER, the way that we spell them. Let me write that on the board. Can you think of any more examples?
The word color?
Good. In fact, many words that end in OR in American English are spelled OUR in British English.
I'm still not convinced. I mean, if someone comes here from England, we can all understand what he's saying. The spelling doesn't really matter that much.
Okay. Are we just talking about spelling, or are there some differences in pronunciation and meaning, too?
Professor Baker?
Yes.
I remember seeing an English movie where the actors kept calling their apartment a flat. Half of the movie was over before I realized what they were talking about.
So there are slight differences in spelling and some vocabulary.
And pronunciation, too. You aren't going to tell me that you sound like Richard Burton.
Richard Burton wasn't English. He was Welsh.
Okay. Anyway, the pronunciation is different.
I think that what we are really disagreeing about is the extent of the difference. We all agree that British English and American English are different, right?
Yes.
Sure.
But not so different that it prevents us from understanding each other.
That's what I mean.
That's what I mean, too.
Listen to a talk by a history instructor.
On his third exploratory voyage, as captain of two ships, the Resolution and the Discovery, Captain James Cook came upon a group of uncharted islands that he named the Sandwich Islands as a tribute to his friend, the Earl of Sandwich. Today the islands are known as the Hawaiian Islands. Some historians contend that the islanders welcomed Cook, believing that he was the god Launo, protector of peace and agriculture. These islanders were short, strong people with a well-organized social system. The men fished and raised crops, including taro, coconuts, sweet potatoes, and sugar cane. The women cared for the children and made clothing, loincloths for the men and short skirts for the women. The natives were eager to exchange food and supplies for iron nails and tools, and Cook was easily able to restock his ship. Because of a severe storm in which the Resolution was damaged, it was necessary to return to Hawaii. Now sure that Cook and his crew were men and not gods, the natives welcomed them less hospitably. Besides, diseases brought by the English had reached epidemic proportions. When a small boat was stolen from the Discovery, Cook demanded that the king be taken as a hostage until the boat was returned. In the fighting that followed, Cook and 4 other crewmen were killed.
The ringpull can. You will hear part of a talk about the ringpull can, the container in which many drinks are sold.
A burglar alarm, a parachute, a crash barrier, a smoke alarm. These machines and many others wait to work. And when they are required to work, they have to work once perfectly. Among the most precise of these patiently waiting devices is the ringpull can. The ringpull can is a pressurized container used both to transport and to store, perhaps for long periods of time, a commercially sold drink. This type of can owes its popularity to the fact that it's totally safe. It's economical, it's easy to open, it doesn't leak, and it's not damaging to the environment. 4,000 of these cans are opened every second worldwide. Success depends upon the ringpull mechanism working every time. The entire product is based on a small cut in the can. Far from being a simple matter, it is an engineering masterpiece. The surface of the can is 0.28 millimetres thick. The cut is less than half that, being 0.09 millimetres deep, about the thickness of the average banknote. When the can is manufactured, the cut that is made in the metal where it is to be opened changes the physical condition of the metal so that it can withstand high internal pressure but also break very cleanly and very easily. The market requires reliability. Reliability means a clean break every time a can is opened, and a clean break is dependent on the size and shape of the cut in the can. This has been developed by working out how not to make it. Negative engineering. If the cut is too shallow, the top is difficult to open, and if it's too deep, the can could leak. If the cut had a V shape, it would break with uneven, sharp edges. If it had a square shape, the can might burst when it is opened. The depth of the cut in the metal is varied so that when the top is pulled open there is a two-stage action. At the point where the top is pulled, the cut is relatively deep, and the metal is very thin, and so it breaks easily. However, the top is only allowed to move a short distance before it is stopped by a thickening of the metal where the cut is shallower. This hesitation allows the can to release pressure, which ensures that you don't pour the contents over your neighbour. Additional pressure on the top is then required to complete the opening. The ring pull top must open every time. A significant failure rate would be a commercial disaster. And yet it has to be manufactured for just over a penny to a precision similar to that of a Swiss watch worth hundreds of thousands of pounds.
We hope you have enjoyed our program. Subscribe for more helpful content and come to learn English with us.